beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa Samina and welcome to the fam. So you guys, as the title of this video says, today's reading is all about your psychic abilities. So some people call this psychic abilities, some people call this a sixth sense. However you want to define it is completely up to you, so no pressure here. So you guys, I have prepared 4 groups for you, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively in order to figure out what your hidden psychic abilities are. So regarding the groups, we have the Bismuth, we have the Opal, we have the Agate, as well as the Peridot. So I would like you to pick one of these 4 minerals intuitively. So just go with whatever mineral resonates with you. Go with whichever group feels right for you. And also feel free to tune into 2 readings, maybe even 3 readings if you feel like you cannot make up your mind, because your personal reading may be a mixture between 2 or 3, and there's no shame in the multiple groups game. So yeah, you guys, before I get into the reading about your psychic abilities, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for creating such a beautiful community here on my channel. I can't believe that we're at 25,000. I feel like I'm constantly making announcements thanking you guys, but I mean, you guys also constantly give me reasons to thank you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you out there who watches my videos, who enjoys my videos, who engages with my content, and who is here for the positivity on my channel. I am beyond grateful. I'm beyond blessed to have you guys as an audience, and this is truly like the most positive space that I've ever seen on YouTube, and I'm so proud to call this my channel. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys before I got into the readings and just reiterate really how grateful I am. So yeah, guys, enough cheesy small talk. I'm gonna get straight into the readings with group number 1, which corresponds to the Bismuth. Hello group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Bismuth. So first and foremost, a little something about the Bismuth, and you guys, I just want to apologize for just, sitting back in my chair, but I just find that I can channel like the best messages when I'm sitting really comfortably and like back in the chair and just relax. So sorry if I seem a little slouchy. I just want to create the best possible reading for you. So the Bismuth is for anybody who easily gets distracted, for anybody who sort of knows that they have more inside of them, who knows that, this gray everyday pattern that they have in their life is not what they want and is not all that they're capable of, basically. So the Bismuth is for anybody with a lot of potential, with, a very short attention span, who can be super creative. So let's move further into your reading about your psychic abilities. Okay, so group number 1, we have intuition, we have the dragonfly, we have the Bismuth, as already mentioned, sensuality, as well as polarity. So group number 1, regarding your psychic abilities, I definitely see that you're very in tune with your intuition. I definitely see that you're somebody who knows how to follow that gut feeling, and you have like a pretty clear idea of what your intuition is, because a lot of people struggle to even really know what intuition means or what it means to them and how it somehow makes itself noticeable. But I see that you're pretty in touch with your body, and that is part of your psychic abilities, the fact that you have this sort of gut feeling when a situation seems a little off, and you can sense when it's off. So that is definitely a very admirable sense to have, and I definitely see that you can trust your intuition. You're somebody who can use their intuition in order to help them make decisions. So whether you actually use your intuition as much as you could, that I'm not sure of, but I definitely see that your intuition is very sensitive, very fine-tuned, and can be potentially super helpful for you. And moving on in the dragonfly, I definitely see that you're somebody who finds it easier to be mindful than other people. You're somebody who has, part of their psychic ability is the fact that they're able to live life to the fullest. They're able to be here in the present moment, and you're not somebody who, when you set your mind to it, still goes and checks their phone or their emails or whatever. When you want to be in the present moment, you're able to be mindful and you're able to be like 100% here. So definitely focus on, tuning those muscles a little more. Definitely focus on working on those mindfulness and intuitive muscles, as I see that they're a big part of your psychic abilities. Moving further into your reading, as already mentioned, we have polarity as well as sensuality. So something that can help you express your psychic abilities a lot more is your sensuality. So expressing it, being sort of one with it, you know, being comfortable in your body with your sensual side, also your sexual side, that is something that is super beneficial to you, as I see that that will help you get out of your shell, and that is maybe something that you still struggle with from time to time, or, you know, you may have a little bit of shame attached to those subjects, which is, you know, completely fine, is completely normal. A lot of people struggle with that, but being more in tune with your sensual side is something that will truly bring out your psychic abilities, as that will help you be more comfortable in your body and with who you truly are, regardless of the situation. So in polarity, I see that integrating your shadow side, that is something that is essential. You know, there can be light around dark. There has to be light and dark, if you know what I mean, because if there was only light or only dark, it would cancel like itself out. Like one can't exist without the other is what I'm trying to say. So I definitely see that what you need to do is focus on your polarity to bring your psychic abilities out a lot more, as I see that you have a very strong contrast between your light side and your shadow side. And your shadow side is not necessarily something bad. Your shadow side is very subjective. So if you're uncomfortable with your shadow side and you feel like your shadow side is your bad side, then, you know, that is subjective to you. Other people may like your shadow side. So for instance, if you find one of your shadow abilities to be the fact that you're too trusting and you're somebody who gives people the benefit of the doubt really easily, somebody else might find that a light trait. Somebody else might find that a very positive, a very, you know, empathetic trait. So just because you find something shadow doesn't mean that it's shadow to other people. But just like embracing what you see as light and what you see as shadow is something that can truly, you know, allow you to get more in your zone and get more comfortable with yourself as a human being, which in turn will help you to embrace more of your psychic abilities. So let's move further into your reading. I see talking to your angels, counseling, the bloodstone, as well as the tourmaline. Okay, so group number 1, I definitely see that part of your psychic abilities is the fact that instead of worrying, you're somebody who is capable of talking to their angels. You're somebody who is capable of getting direct guidance from the universe or from whatever it is that you believe in. It doesn't really matter, but from that force, from that higher, more all-knowing force that you lean on, or that you choose to lean on. So I definitely see that in intuition, that is something that can help you talk to your angels. It is something that can help you to communicate and to stop you from worrying. You know, being mindful and living in the moment, as the dragonfly suggests, is something that just shows that instead of like worrying all the time, you're able to communicate with your angels and you're able to get guidance from them. Then moving further into your reading and counseling, I definitely see that one of your psychic abilities is the fact that you heal people with kind words. You have a lot of good advice, and you're naturally like an empath. So I definitely see a naturally very empathetic streak with you, and also that, you know, you may be a light worker, as the job of a light worker is to share knowledge, enlighten people, and to like learn things to then give it to people in an easier way. So you're the kind of person who is capable of reading a book and taking the best, juiciest information out of it and then sharing it with others, just because you want to help them, just because you want to give them the best possible knowledge, even if that meant that you had to put more work in than they will. So I definitely see a very empathetic streak. I see being a light worker being one of those, you know, psychic streaks of yours, one of those psychic sides, and just being able to communicate directly with the universe is something that you're capable of. In the tourmaline as well as the bloodstone, we have a lot of like detoxification, we have a lot of purification. So in the bloodstone, which is connected to the root, heart, and sacral chakra, I definitely see that purification is something that you're good at, as well as, you know, in smudging, like using sage, for instance. All of those purifying sort of rituals, all of those rituals can allow you to unleash more of your psychic abilities, can allow you to connect more to your intuition and with the universe, with the angels, in order to do more good, and in order to also, you know, just just be that positive ray of light that has those counseling abilities, that has the abilities to turn people's days around. So I definitely see that your psychic abilities entails the fact that you're not afraid to detoxify, you're not afraid to smudge, to remove any sort of negative energy. And once you have released the negative energy, you're moving forward on a clean slate and you're ready to, start a fresh page. So you're definitely somebody who is good at letting go of negativity, who is good at leaving it behind. Whether you actually do these things or not, that is completely up to you. Obviously, psychic abilities are something that have been given to you by the universe, and you decide whether you make use of them or not. So group number 1, that is the reading that I received for you regarding your psychic abilities. I hope it was insightful and I hope that it was relatable, and I will see you in one of my next readings. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading regarding your psychic abilities. So you chose the Opal. So first and foremost, the Opal is for anybody who has like a routine that they're into, that has like this set sort of way of being, and for who it would be beneficial to add a little bit of excitement and a little bit of something different into their routine. So group number 2, if you feel like your routine, your daily routine has gotten a little bit boring, or you feel like it could benefit from something new and exciting, then that may be why you chose this stone. I mean, otherwise the Opal is a super sought after gem, is a super sought after mineral, and you may just have chosen it because you just think it's beautiful, or just because you resonated with it. So let's move further into your reading. So we have illusion, we have money, we have rebirth, as well as patience. So group number 2, I'm sure you are eager to know what is happening in the earthly realms. What is going on with the money card and your psychic abilities? So I definitely see that finding a way to abundance is part of your psychic abilities. Finding a way to getting abundance in the earthly realms with all things that are material, with all things that have to do with time. So group number 2, I definitely feel like you're a very smart individual who can easily sort of come up with new things and new ideas, who is very creative, or at least, has the potential to be super creative, and therefore manifest abundance and money into their life a lot easier. So group number 2, obviously, you may have over time developed some sort of money blockages, or just generally energetic blockages, and that is something that you can work on in order to free this psychic ability in particular. Because just because you have a psychic ability doesn't mean that you're necessarily flexing that muscle or making use of it. But I see that you're naturally somebody who can attract money more than others, and attract more abundance into their life in an easier way. So that could have to do with the fact that maybe you have a very positive outlook, or you're somebody who sees the glass as half full instead of half empty. There can be various reasons, but in illusion, I definitely see that you're somebody who is very truthful, which I feel may have to do with you being able to manifest more easily, because you're very real. You're like a realist, so to say. You're not somebody who likes to just be optimistic for no reason. You like to be optimistic when it matters and when you know that it'll make a difference. So you're definitely somebody who's very down to earth, somebody who is very real, and that helps you in your psychic abilities, being true, being real, knowing what is just fairy tale and what has actually something to do with life and can allow you to move forward in life. So moving further into your reading, I see that reinventing yourself is one of your psychic abilities. I see that you're somebody who, depending on what your dream is at this particular moment, you're somebody who can create like a new sense of self, a new reality for themselves, and that is an ability that often gets underestimated, being able to reinvent yourself and being able to get up when you get knocked down. So I definitely see that you're somebody who has this ability, even when they're knocked down, way on the ground, and are just flat out for weeks and can't sort of seem to get out of a rut. I see that when you do rise from the ashes, you're somebody who completely reinvents themselves, completely changes the story from, being down and out into being a winner. You're not somebody who allows, old sort of baggage to continue on into your future. You're somebody who can reinvent themselves, reinvent their story, and focus on their dreams with their new story and just their new sense of being. So I definitely see that being able to create your reality over and over again whenever there is a need or whenever it sort of gets knocked down is an ability that you have that a lot of people wish that they had. Then in patience, I definitely see that one of your psychic abilities is probably the fact that you're very empathetic, because patience has a lot to do with being empathetic. So I definitely see that you're somebody who knows how to pause before they take action when necessary, and you're somebody who, you know, is patient and knows that bigger things are in the work and that you can't always have everything right when you want it. So patience is definitely a virtue. Patience is definitely something that can do a lot more good rather than damage. So I definitely feel like that is something that you need to work on a lot more, that you need to make use of a lot more, because being patient has so many levels, and right now you may be like at level 3 when you really could be at level like 578, if you know what I mean, because you have this ability. You have the ability to watch and wait, to be patient, and to let things unfold a little to exactly the point that they need to unfold to in order for you to then jump in and make the next move. And having that sort of clairvoyance, having the ability to see sort of before anybody else, that is an amazing trait to have. And if you don't have patience, you will not be able to make use of that. So definitely keep that in mind when thinking about your psychic abilities. So let's move further into your reading. We have the spiritual teacher, we have music, we have the Larimar, as well as the Kunzite. So group number 2. First and foremost, I definitely see that music is something that can truly allow, you know, your psychic abilities to flow and to sort of be at peace and in a very restful state inside of you. So music is maybe something that you love to do yourself, or you love to have in your life, you love to listen to. And I definitely see that music is something that has a very strong connection to you, or has the potential to take a very large part of your life as, you know, just a passion of yours. So I definitely see that music in correlation with the Larimar and the fact that that is what is connected to the throat chakra, as well as, you know, water and the ocean. So I see emotional sides of you as well as how you speak having a lot to do with music, which leads me to believe that you're somebody who, when they're in tune with music, when they're making music, when they're listening to the right music, and, you know, everything is sort of in place when it comes to that sort of creativity, you're somebody who has a lot of emotional intelligence. You have a lot of emotional intelligence when it comes to relationships and speaking to other people. So as your throat chakra is channeled in the Larimar, I see that definitely, you know, the way you interact with people is one of your abilities, maybe not completely psychic, but just an ability that sort of makes you different from others and that makes you naturally empathetic. Again, in the Kunzite, I see that, you know, your third eye, your heart chakra, you're somebody who connects really well with the youth, with people younger than you, or with children. So maybe you have children in your family, or you actually are a mother or a father. Either way, I see that you really connect with children. You really have like that sort of sixth sense as to what they need. You're somebody who is very nurturing and who can teach a lot. So you're definitely somebody, I'd say, who, you know, has a lot of teacher values, as we have the spiritual teacher in here. I definitely see that you're somebody who can heal, who can show others the light, so to say, and who others like to listen to and learn from. And why the spiritual teacher doesn't want to be shown, I don't know. But yeah, so I definitely see that you have a lot of leadership qualities when it comes to people who can learn from you. You have a lot of qualities that show that you're somebody who likes to help, to heal, and to bring more knowledge. So group number 2, I definitely see that your psychic abilities entail with the fact that you're somebody who, like a phoenix, can rise from the ashes, can have, you know, a super miraculous rebirth where people are like, hey, weren't you just down the other day? Weren't you just like crying hysterically? Like, how are you all of a sudden like Superman or Superwoman the next day? So that is definitely something that I see in you, as well as the fact that you're very much capable of attracting money very easily. And that may have to do with the fact that the Larimar is something that has showed up in your reading, is a mineral that has showed up in your reading. And you being connected to the water and the ocean just shows very much a divine flow running through your life. So group number 2, that is the reading that I received for you. I hope you found it insightful, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading about your psychic abilities. So you chose the Agate. So first and foremost, I see why you chose this stone, okay? I see why you chose this mineral. It's beautiful, it's super luxe, and there's so many different like variations to this stone that it can be hard not to choose this. So this is a fiery red agate. They can be colored in many different, shapes and forms. So no agate is the same. So that may be why you chose it, because it's so versatile, because it's a stone that just shows so many different facets. And maybe that is something that really resonates with you as a person, but you may have just loved the aesthetics. So let's move into your reading, group number 3. Okay, so we have letting go, we have animal bond, we have leadership, as well as intention. So group number 3, first and foremost about your psychic abilities, what I see is that you have a very strong bond to the animal kingdom. You have a very strong bond to animals. So that leads me to think that you're somebody who has a really big, caring, loving heart, because animals are so different from us. So there's a very distinct connection between a human and an animal that a human and a human cannot share. And the fact that you value that bond and that you see a lot of value in it just says a lot about you. It says a lot about, first of all, the fact that you feel like standing up for animals, you feel like standing up for their rights, and then also the fact that you appreciate that kind of relationship. And not everybody has that capability, not everybody has that much empathy in their heart to connect with another being like you do, and that definitely connects you very deeply to your spiritual side and your empath side, so to say. So I definitely want you to keep in mind that the fact that the animal bond has showed up leads me to believe that you have this very intuitive and instinctive feeling as to what another living being means, and you're somebody who has the ability to see very clearly and see things for what they are. So clairvoyance is a word that comes to mind when I speak of that, and also just the fact that you don't discriminate. So whether it's an animal that's in pain or a human being, I mean, you maybe even feel a bit worse for the animal than for the human being, because the human being has the ability to talk, it has the advantage of, healthcare, etc. Whereas there are a lot of animals who are suffering who obviously don't have those advantages. So I definitely see a very caring, nurturing side, and the fact that you can connect with animals and they connect back with you in a way that is completely unique. So moving further into your reading, group number 3, about your psychic abilities, in letting go, I definitely see that that is something that you have learned, and you may have learned that the hard way. So in letting go, I definitely see that part of your ability is to be able to let go of any sort of grief, and you're able to forgive. So I definitely feel like in correlation with leadership, you've had to learn that just in order to be able to step into your leader role and to be able to sort of inspire and empower other people. You had to let go whenever anybody did you wrong. You had to learn to let go of any sort of issues, of any sort of arguments that may have been in your life, because if you didn't, then you wouldn't be who you are today. You wouldn't have the time that you have to empower others and also make sure that you connect with your animal friends. So maybe you have pets, or you've always wanted pets, or you just love being around animals in general, but I definitely see that taking charge of your life and letting go of anything that doesn't serve you is something that has helped you along your journey, and that will further help you with your psychic abilities. So in leadership, I definitely feel like maybe you are a Mintican, maybe you're a starseed, you're somebody who continuously leads their life even though they're maybe not completely sure where they belong or where home is. You just keep forcing yourself in the direction that feels right. So in intention, I see that is something that is very psychic about you, being able to set your intention and manifest. So I definitely feel like you're very clear and decisive when it comes to what it is that you want, and you're able to truly have laser focus. So I definitely see that you can be more bold with your requests, especially when you manifest, because one of your psychic abilities is the fact that you're so capable of manifesting. You're so capable of setting your intentions, going after them, and not letting anything come in between. So definitely see this psychic ability for what it is, being able to manifest, leaves you with so many possibilities as to how you create your life that other people can only dream of. So really value the fact that, you know, you have empathy for animals, that you're somebody who's very caring and nurturing, but then at the same time, when you need to focus on something, nothing else matters and you can go after it, and your ability to manifest and to let energy flow through you is something that is very unique and that not many people possess. So let's move further into your reading, group number 3. So we have flowers, we have animals again, we have the ruby, as well as the clear quartz. So group number 3, I'm sure you're intrigued as to why animals showed up in your reading again. So I definitely feel like you understand animals intuitively, you communicate with them intuitively, and I definitely see that animals are a part of your life's work. So maybe you have a pet, or like I said, you're just obsessed with animals, and I definitely see that they're part of your life's work. They will always be with you, either because you live with animals or they're always in your heart. So that is definitely a strong tip off on your psychic abilities to be able to communicate with animals, to maybe even be best in a profession that has to do with animals, because you just silently sort of have this ability to connect with them, and it's unlike anybody else. And in flowers, I can see that working with flowers, being around flowers, is something that opens your heart and allows more blessings into your life. So I definitely feel like flowers are something that you can use with your intention. So maybe next time you feel like getting flowers, or you feel like you want to do something with the nature that has to do with plants, flowers in particular, I definitely see that you will be able to allow manifestation to happen in an easier way, and that blessings are able to enter your life a lot easier when you connect with flowers. So what does that mean for your psychic abilities? So I definitely feel like through meditation, as we have the clear quartz, and you know, having flowers around you maybe while you meditate, I definitely see that that will bring out the most of your psychic abilities, that will bring out the most of that inner intuitiveness that you have, that is almost like an animal instinct, that when you have to survive, you know exactly what you do. When there is a situation of crisis, you know exactly how to manage it. So the fact that we have so many animals as well as leadership in your reading just leads me to believe that you're somebody who has that instinctive, almost like animalistic trait inside of them that allows them to cope in any situation, and you have that survival instinct that you can sort of switch on when is needed, and you're just functioning on autopilot. You can just do what needs to be done in order to achieve what is necessary. So group number 3, that is a really amazing trait to have, because in today's society we are often so disconnected from, you know, what we are capable of mentally as well as physically when we really need to, and when life gets tough, that we don't even know how strong we can truly be. But I see that you're somebody who has the capability to make use of that. So moving on, in the ruby, we have passion. So I see that your psychic abilities are definitely something that flow through you in a very passionate way. So maybe you're somebody who has a hot temper, you're someone who is just a very zesty, spicy kind of person, and you'll tell people how it is, because your soft side lies with the animals, because they can't talk, they can't defend themselves, but human beings can. So I definitely see a distinct difference there for you, and I definitely see that when you're passionate about something, you go for it. When you're passionate about where you want to be, there is no stopping you, and you're going to make use of your psychic abilities, of having that instinct inside of you to get whatever needs to get done. So group number 3, that is the reading that I received for you. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful, and I will see you in my next video. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading regarding your psychic abilities. So you chose the Peridot. So group number 4, you chose this precious stone, maybe not only because you liked the way it looked or because you just had that first sort of instinct that this was for you, but maybe also because one of the deeper meanings of the Peridot and who this is for anybody who needs to magnetize their motivation, for anybody who needs that extra Peridot in their life. And the Peridot is sort of like the vitamin vitamin D in your diet. But often people forget how important that is for the zest of life and to truly, feel your best. And also what kind of long-term effects not having this vitamin D in your diet may have. So see the Peridot as the zest of life, as your motivation, and the fact that it's essential for you to have it in your diet in order to, remain healthy and in order to live your best life. So let's move further into your reading group number 4. So first off, we have moving forward, we have legends, we have possibility, as well as gentleness. So group number 4, regarding your psychic abilities, I definitely see that you're somebody who always sees the glass as half full instead of half empty. So in moving forward, I definitely see that you're somebody who is always there for positive change. You're naturally a very light-filled person, and you're somebody who people love to turn to when they need positive advice or encouragement. So I definitely see that part of your psychic abilities is the fact that you motivate people, that you're a light worker, so to say, that you're somebody who always brings a lot of joy and positivity into people's lives, and you're able to turn any frown around, so to say. So I definitely see that that opens a lot of possibility for you. I definitely see that when it comes to psychic abilities, you have a lot of different choices, okay? You're not limited to 1 or 2 psychic abilities. You have endless possibilities. But what you need to do, group number 4, is you have to raise your expectations, you have to elevate them, and you have to keep in mind that you have unlimited potential. So I definitely see, the energy of a very strong third eye, a very strong intuition, as well as just the fact that you're somebody who can sort of sense when things are happening or when things are about to happen. So there are endless possibilities when it comes to your psychic abilities, and it's important for you to tap into each and every one of those in order to really figure out which of these psychic abilities resonate the most with you and which you can really actually make super strong and powerful. Because psychic abilities are just like muscles. If you don't train them, if you don't take time to work on them, they're always going to be sort of limp and not very strong. But if you train them daily, if you give them the nutrients that they need, if you give them the time that they require, they can become really strong. And obviously that can change how you do things, how you shape your life. So in legends, I see that in correlation with your psychic abilities, I feel like your psychic abilities have been passed down from generation to generation. So maybe your mother already has a sixth sense, or your father is somebody who feels like he can already foresee things happening, or who is a light worker, somebody super empathetic. And I see that those streaks are passed down to you from generation to generation. So obviously it may have skipped a generation. You may feel closer to your grandparents or to your great-grandparents, or you may feel like you resonate with their energy more. But either way, it's very clear that your psychic abilities, if you look to your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, if you look down in your ancestral history, you can find a lot of different tips as to what your psychic abilities may entail, and you may find a lot of traces of psychic abilities that you may have never even taken into consideration. So definitely look into that and really think hard when it comes to your ancestors, when it comes to the people that came before you, that sort of created you, and look into their abilities and what you have always sort of thought was interesting and unique about them. You're somebody who is very kind to yourself as well as others. You're somebody who likes to honor gentleness and the importance of gentleness, and you always try and speak with words of love. So I definitely feel like it may be easier for you to be gentle to other people compared to yourself. So you may sort of be a little bit tough on yourself sometimes, just because in possibilities I see that there are a lot of psychic abilities that are still a possibility that you have not tapped into yet, that you have not sort of seen yet. So I definitely feel like gentleness is something that you have to continue applying, and that will allow you to open up more psychic abilities, that will allow you to have that sort of key to the door that is right now locked. But if you're more gentle with yourself, you tune more into the very soft side of you and are more encouraging towards your psychic abilities, or what you think may be your psychic abilities, they may just, become stronger and stronger and more prevalent in your life. So let's move further into your reading group number 4. We have protected, we have artist, we have the apophyllite as well as the selenite. So group number 4, what I see for you in the artist is the fact that engaging in artistic activities is something that brings out your psychic abilities. I definitely see that that is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. So I definitely see here an artist at heart. So even if you feel like you're not very creative, creativity is something that you do. It's not something that you just are born with. And that is something that I like to remind people of. You know, whenever I told myself that I was not creative, then guess what? All of my creative ventures were always like meh. But when I kept telling myself I am creative, that's when things started to flow, and that's when creativity started to happen, because I just started doing creativity. So know that doing creativity is something that untaps a lot of sort of hidden abilities. It can open up a lot of sides of you that you didn't even know existed, and or that you haven't seen in a very long time. And in Protected, I see that you're somebody whose ability is the fact that they are very protected. So I see that part of your psychic ability is like a shield that you have. You're somebody who is protected from negativity naturally, and you're somebody who naturally is pretty gifted, so pretty lucky, so to say. So do you know how some people go through life and nothing bad ever happens to them, or when they're in a bad situation, it still like sort of really turns out for the better than how they started off? So I definitely see that you have strong potential to be super gifted. So whether you're tapping into that gift of being protected or not, that is up to you, but you are naturally predisposed to be pretty protected by the universe, by your angels, as long as you believe and as long as you sort of give that trust back to allow the universe to do what it needs to do. Then in the apophyllite, I see that connecting is something essential. Connecting is something that brings out the best of your psychic abilities. Connecting with the nature, other human beings, as well as yourself spiritually is something that is essential and something that you may have neglected. But overall, in the selenite that is connected to your crown chakra, by the way, I see peaceful aura coming from you. I see that you're somebody who does not need or want or like confrontation. You're somebody who likes harmony, who likes balance and peacefulness. So that is something that you can channel, just being that dove, being that sort of angel that is peaceful, that people know they can always come to whenever they need guidance. That is an ability that not many people can radiate. That is a energy that not many people have, but you naturally have this in you. You're naturally somebody who people can connect with as long as you engage with them on the same sort of eye level as they engage with you. So I always want you to keep in mind that you're somebody who has the ability to connect with the world, to connect people with each other, and that also comes with a sense of responsibility. So definitely make the most, be peace in person. Always when you meet somebody new, see them on the same eye level, give them the benefit of the doubt, and allow that part of you to connect with other human beings on a very fundamental level, as I see that you're somebody who has this ability to go very far when it comes to, for instance, politics or their career. You're somebody who can go very high in the ranks just because you have this natural connection to other human beings, and you give them naturally a feeling of being understood and of being loved and cherished. So group number 4, that is the reading that I received for you. I hope you found it insightful, and I hope that you found it relatable, and I will see you in my next reading.